Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back with a special little video because unfortunately everyone watching it is now time for the international break. So I thought instead of just disappearing and everyone being bored, I thought we'd come back, we'd sit down and we'd talk about Rangers things with the man, the myth, Stevie for Four Lads Had a Dream. How's it going, Stevie?
Yeah, mate, it's going good. It's been an excellent season so far for the club, and yeah, I mean, it feels good. It feels champion, mate. It feels good.
I've not seen you smile so much since Scott Wright touches the football. It's very weird. It's the only two times I've ever seen you smile.
That has been an added bonus to an excellent season, and that all started. Funnily enough, that all started way back in like November time when I said to you guys, I said Scott Wright from Aberdeen is a player that I think we should be looking at coming out of contract, and I always said he reminded me a lot of Stephen Naismith, not in terms of style particularly, but in terms of pacey. That kind of presence up front that we maybe didn't have more right-sided as well. And I just thought, for the price he'll be available, he was leaving Aberdeen. We knew that. Yep. So why not have a go? And I've got to be honest, he's really impressed me so far. Yeah. I think he's got the ability. Maybe not straight away. I think we should be patient with him. He's a bit of a project, maybe. Yeah. But so far, definitely impressed with what we've seen.
You can definitely see he's got the raw intangibles. You just got that excitement factor. It's kind of like Ryan Kent. Whenever he touches the football, you go, "Son, could happen here." And Scott Wright has got that. I can definitely see if we can get them two flowing on either side and everything like that could be absolutely devastating and add more attacking threat for Mr. Scott Wright. But I've just loved watching you just go down that route, mate, because you spoke about him very, very early. So it's been great to see you enjoying yourself. And that kind of branches me in because what we're kind of here to talk about is just Rangers things. And so, because again, it is the international break, and this is a title-winning, record-breaking Rangers side, so there is so much to talk about, and that's great to say, because you think of it, Stevie, the last time me and you sat down 1v1 was nearly a year ago now, which is quite scary to think about. I think it's a couple of weeks till it being a year, and we sat before the season, we talked about, obviously, the Castro deal, we talked about a couple of things, but we all said in every podcast, we hope we can come in about a year's time and be sitting here with smiles on our faces. And for one, Stevie, it's actually worked out, mate. It's just been absolutely sensational. And what is your thoughts now? And again, the season's not officially over yet, but now the post-split, you've seen the fixtures given out. How is your overall thoughts on this Rangers team? Do you think they're getting the respect that they deserve?
No, I don't. I said this as well, that I was worried that this team weren't getting the credit that they deserve. But to be at this point, 33 games in, drawn 5, conceded 10, the goals that we've scored, and it's not only what we're doing; it's the quality of what we're doing as well. In terms of some of the individual moments this season, some of the team moments this season have been incredible. And as a support, I just want us to enjoy this because we're sitting at a point where people are maybe experiencing this for the first time, which is incredible. And I hope there's lots of people out there enjoying themselves. But I don't want people to not enjoy how good we have been because. Yeah. I'm pretty much in love with this team. I've got to be honest. I think that, and we've got to acknowledge as well that guys like James Tavernier, Connor Goldson, Borna Barisic, Ryan Jack, Stephen Davis, Alfredo Morelos, Ryan Kent, these guys that have been the ones that we thought were key, have been key, and they have produced and then produced that wee bit more as well, which I think has been fantastic. Throughout the season, there's been individual players that for 3-4 games, like Kamara Roof, the likes of Yanis Hadji, Ryan Kent, Alfredo, as we already spoke about, go back to James Tavernier, Borna, they've all taken exceptional performances and pulled us through 2 or 3 games. And then you have the likes of Alan McGregor and Connor Goldson, Stephen Davis, who have been magnificent, solid 7 and 8s throughout the season completely. Yeah. And that has moulded us together perfectly. And then when you've got the raw kind of qualities like Joe Aribo, I would probably put Yanis Hadji in there as well in terms of maybe not consistent all the time, but is capable of producing wonderful moments. Like of Yanis Hadji, if we just journey back to Sunday there, maybe didn't have his best game, but still produced a quality through ball for Ryan Kent, who was an immaculate volley, really unlucky. It would have been a great moment. Really similar to Braga, if you feature back to last season when he popped it over and Kent went the exact same thing. And that's the thing about Yanis Hadji. He's not the type of player that has 90 minutes where he goes past everybody and things like that. But there is no doubt that he will produce at least one clear-cut opportunity for a teammate. And we've spent so long, you and I and various, fan media, talking about the need to have somebody different. And I just want us to appreciate guys like Yanis Hadji, because while he's here, he's going to improve. Joe Aribo is going to improve. Ryan Kent's improving to where he was before. And I see that in the likes of Yanis and the likes of Joe as well. And I just think it's really exciting. And what we are trying to do as a team, you can buy into the philosophy, CJ. You know what we're doing.
Yep.
And that's what I enjoy about this team. And it's been brilliant. There's been little things throughout the season, little moments, going to Celtic Park, going to Kilmarnock, coming from behind at Motherwell, at home at New Year, at Christmas time.
Yep.
Winning through the Christmas games with the likes of Hibs at home on Boxing Day, which was really tough. McGregor, a couple of great saves, but we dug it out. These games have all been little moments where I've thought we're really on the right track here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been great. I mean, I don't know what you think, but I do know what you think, but
the smile on the thumbnails all seasons have told.
It's just been so enjoyable, So.
Yeah. I mean, I've loved, honestly, every second of this, and I'm trying to soak it in as much as possible, because like you're saying there, we're no a one-man team, or we've not been reliant. I love the fact that almost every one of our players has had a 3 or 4 game spell, like you said, to be the guy, but we've never been over-reliant on that guy, and that for me is just so special, what makes this team so unique. And I've continued to stress that in my videos as well. There is something different about this team. We've got so many different assets, and what I'm thinking about there is, just coming back off the way you ended that sentence, when did you know, because obviously we've won the league title now, believe it or not, it might only be the 23rd of March, but the title's been won for a couple of weeks. I could argue could be a couple of months. But what was the moment for you, Stevie? Because this is quite a popular conversation point I've seen in the comments. What was the exact moment and the exact game that you went back and said, you know what, even me, being a bit of a skeptic, you like to always keep me level. I'm normally bouncing up and down, and you're like, CJ Cameron. But what part did you say, we're going to win this league? What was there an exact moment or exact game that you said that?
Motherwell,
they come back.
Definitely Motherwell at home. Kilmarnock at Rugby Park was a big moment for me, winning 1-0 that day. We weren't that great today, if you remember that day. Tab got a penalty quite early on, and we were never really in danger. And if you had watched it back, like I did afterwards, I know a lot of people watch games back, I didn't ever feel that we were under pressure. But at the time, you're fully immersed and you're like, oh my goodness, biting your nails kind of thing. I thought at that time, that's a huge positive step, because that was like something that was always on our back that we had to get rid of. Mm-hmm. But the Motherwell game was key, off the back of a really disappointing result at St Mirren in the League Cup. Quite rightly, people were saying this team's going to bottle it again. We were coming to that phase of the season where things haven't went well for us the last couple of years, and then we find ourselves 1-0 down to 2 banks of 5, a goalie that was in inspired form, and it was like, we're not going to break this out. But that came at a period where Kamar Roof was doing his best stuff for Rangers.
Yeah, that month, that was super.
There was a good 6 to 8 weeks where he was absolutely incredible, where he hit form, and I think he's a brilliant player, but he needs to be playing, which I think you saw last week in Europe when he came on. He wasn't ready, and he's misjudged that moment.
Yeah.
So that game for me was incredible, and the thing about that game was, when we scored, I knew we were going to win it, because the team, the way they have been and the way they've shown themselves all throughout the season, you believed in them.
Yeah.
And even on Sunday, when we went 1-0 behind and weren't playing well, looked pretty burst, I still had confidence in this team that we were going to come back. Yep. And that is the level that they produced all season. I'm just so comfortable watching them. And yeah, I mean, it hasn't always been straightforward, CJ, in terms of we haven't always played great. But I think, we would agree that that's been the good thing, that there's been games, and I look back to St Johnstone at home when Yanis Hadji scores and we win 1-0. Hibs at Boxing Day 1-0 again. Hibs away 1-0. There's been, I think, 7 1-0 victories, and that's been the key difference between this season and last season and the season before, that these games where we weren't maybe playing our best stuff, we've been able to dig out.
Yeah, I've been very, very impressed with just that. Almost, you can say it now because we are the champions. That's a champion's mentality, and that is what makes a champion side. It is those 1-0s, and that's because if you think in a couple of seasons under Gerrard, we've had some great periods. We've been on some great games. We've scored some great goals, but we've never been able to have that 1-0. You're talking about that Kilmarnock game. I remember the exact game you're talking about because we've seen that game so many times, Stevie. We took the lead early. We couldn't get that second goal. We missed a couple of chances as well in the second half. And it was always that sucker punch. And I think all of us were waiting on it. But we sat there and we defended so well, led again by Connor Goldson, who was absolutely standing in that game as well, with a couple of late headers, with a couple of attempted set pieces. And it's amazing just that difference in what we've done in this season. And some we always like to say the evolution of the Rangers side. You've seen it. And this was the last part that was needed, the ability to win these 1-0 games and the mentality not to panic and the consistency to be all right at winning 1-0 because it's still 3 points and we've got that now. And for me, that has been one of the biggest changes for Rangers this season. It's been brilliant. So that's why it still doesn't feel quite right to be happy or comfortable at 1-0. I'm still not there, but I know going into the last minute, though, I'm not as quite as flappy as I used to be because I'm like, right, we'll be all right. We can go into the corner. Joe Rebo can do just that unbelievable stuff he can do in the corner. We'll be fine. But we've mentioned that a couple of times, and you mentioned Kamal Roof. The recruitment this year, and especially under Ross Wilson, for me, has been one of the main reasons why we are where we are. And you talk about Roof, you talk about Cedric Itten, who obviously had a massive impact in that Motherwell game you talked about as well. The recruitment for me has been absolutely special. And yes, none of them's hit 30 goals. Roof's not hit 35 goals. But he's offered the goals to win us games in periods. And for me, the recruitment's been absolutely spectacular. What about you? Do you think the recruitment's been right with the players that's left? A couple of questions were asked about the likes of Dockery and McCrory. But I think a year on now, by the end of the season, I think we can go, right, I can understand why we did it. What about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Mark Allen did a good job in terms of where we were and where we had to get to. But I think Mark Allen was kind of like a bridging gap to Ross Wilson. Ross Wilson's clearly the next level up for me. The way he carries himself, the demands that he makes to the club as well. You got to remember that we went from Mark Allen, who was very open, so lots of things were out in the open in the club, and then we went to Ross Wilson, where at 5 o'clock last summer we were getting Calvin Bassey, John McLaughlin announcements, and nobody had heard a sniff.
No.
The level of professionalism each time from the club throughout Gerrard's reign has just went up. And we talk about the evolution of the team, but it's also the evolution of the club overall as well.
Good show.
So I've got nothing but plaudits for Ross Wilson, the job he's done. And that's why I'm looking at the summer ahead. And we do have a big summer ahead because we've got to take that next step, which is we are a good side in Europe at the moment. But if we want to take that next level, and something Steven Gerrard said a couple of weeks ago got me really excited. He said that we're not ready for the latter stages or competing properly in Europe yet. It was the yet that excited me. So I thought to myself, wow, he's thinking he wants to take us to that next level. So to get there, we've got a big summer ahead of us because we do know that the midfield needs strengthened. We know that there's a couple of players coming out of contract, although I'm hoping and expecting good news there.
Yeah.
But there's things that we need to deal with. You've got the Alfredo conundrum. Even though he's bought a new house and is now learning English, how exciting is that? He might actually stay.
The boy.
That's it, him back there. So, that would be amazing because I think he is the level. I said a way back, I think it was in October time, that this was still his team. Yeah. And it was still his team all around him. And when he performs, he takes us up that level. I still stand by that. It's not his team because everybody's moved with him and we're not an individual team anymore. But the point was that he's got that quality that just makes him special in my eyes.
When we're at our best, it's with Alfredo, I think.
I do. I just think, see, when he's on his game, like Antwerp and things like that, I just think he's incredible, unstoppable player. But to journey back to the Ross Wilson question, I'm in complete confidence of what he might do in the summer because we've already seen the recruitment-wise. Roof was an inspired signing. Now, we need to get him playing games and fit, obviously. Cedric Itten, you can see, has got quality. He's pitched in vital moments this year, but it's more of a project and things that maybe they see Alfredo's replacement in 1 or 2 years, which we understand. Even things like Balogun, where Katic gets injured, we're not going to go without him, so we need to go and replace him. And he goes and gets Balogun, and Balogun's been an inspired signing as well. So John McLaughlin, pushes Alan McGregor up that stage again as well. So I'm not worried about what we're going to do in the summer. I'm just excited about it. I think there's a possibility that the club will maybe spend a wee bit, not a lot of money, but there could be a couple of £3-4 million signings coming in. Yeah. And I would trust the club to get it right. And it's an exciting time to be a Rangers fan. We're champions. We're going for Champions League. We'll still get the Scottish Cup to go to.
Absolutely.
We can be proud of an incredible season so far as well. So, enjoy this. I want everybody to enjoy this and not listen because there's been so much negative surrounding the club and people trying to force that narrative onto us. Ignore that. Enjoy it. Enjoy the fireworks. Enjoy the colour displays. Enjoy the team.
That's exactly, and that's why we're here, mate. Because honestly, we're going into an international break now, and again, you know what's going to come out. People's going to try and dampen everything that we're doing, but it's no. I refuse to let that happen, man. This is what we've been waiting for, so I'm going to enjoy every single second there. And you're talking about signings, you're talking about the players that's also stepped up their game as well. So I think I'm going to ask you. I'm not going to ask you your player of the season just yet, because obviously there's still a couple of games. But I'm going to make it difficult for you, and I know it's very difficult. But I'm going to ask you your 5 pillars of success this season. Just 5. I know you could pick so many, but I'm going to put you on the spot right now. Pick 5 players. I know it's very difficult, Stevie, but go for it. Who's been your 5 pillars of success for Rangers this season?
Alan McGregor.
Right.
Connor Goldson. Player of the Year.
Yeah. Yes.
James Tavernier.
Uh-huh.
Stephen Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Kent.
Love that, mate. Love that. And anyone watching in the comments as well, definitely get your 5 pillars. If you're looking for me, I'd go McGregor as well. Absolutely. Tavernier. Yep. Player of the Year, Connor Goldson. Spoiler alert for any future videos. And then for me, it gets very, very close. But I think Stephen Davis, and I think the fact that he's got the contract extension just summarises it all, because I'll admit, there was a point like last season in the second half, I thought, this doesn't look, he's looked like he's gone down. And I can admit I did that. Just like I thought Alfredo Morelos, I thought he wanted away and I didn't want to be here at one point. I'll be honest, I can admit that. I'm happy and I love the fact that I've been proved wrong, trust me. But again, I looked at Stephen Davis and I thought, oh no, the second half of the season, his legs gone. But no, he's galloping back there, even in the game versus Celtic, running back 30 yards and catching David Turnbull, who's through on goal, putting the pressure on him, forcing him out wide and getting us a shot. I'm like, he's running like he's 21-year-old. It's absolutely unbelievable. So he has to be in there for me. And for me, again, I'm not just trying to pick the same answers as you, but there's a reason he's on the wall. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be Ryan Kent. And Kent, for me, is one of the players that I wouldn't say necessarily sets the standard, but he gives absolutely everything in that team, gone forward and gone back. And people want to try and pick holes in his game and say, oh, he doesn't do this enough. For me, no. I didn't allow that to happen at all. Ryan Kent, for me, is one of the most consistent and important players for this Rangers side, because what he offers, both going forward, going back, is just so unique, Stevie. There's no a skillful attacking player like him elsewhere in this league. Nowhere near it.
He's been incredible. And I think people think that he should be like Brian Laudrup or Neil McCann in terms of doing it every single time. But there's so much more to his game. The positional play, his work rate is incredible. You said that he doesn't maybe not set the standards, or you didn't want to say that about him, but I think he does, because his work rate, his tracking back is incredible. He's got moments in him where he can produce, and he's now heading towards a dozen goals, a dozen assists. So you're looking at having 24, 25 goal involvement so far. And that's incredible. That's the numbers we need. And that's part of the reason when you look at it being spread out, Yanis Hadji's the same. Joe Aribo's getting up towards where he should be. Then you've got the likes of Ryan Jack, pitches in with a couple. You've got, in terms of striker-wise, you've got Alfredo's the main man. We're hoping that he'll get 20, which I still think, I tipped that back when he scored against St Mirren at Christmas time. On the podcast, I said that he would still get 20 goals this year. He's heading towards that, I think, maybe 15. So he maybe around that. I haven't checked it, but we need to go. He's got maybe 10 games left when you include the cup.
16 now. 16.
Right. So there we go. So he will hit that target. I'm pretty sure he will. And that moments like that have all merged in. But you need a constant. And there's a reason Ryan Kent doesn't get rested. There's a reason he's always in the team, and it's because he sets the pace with the pressing and the going forward. He's got that moment of quality. He can strike a ball. He can do that wee moment of magic, but he's a team player, so he works hard. And he has, again, epitomised where we have went to in terms of where we were. And he was maybe 1 or 2 games good, 3 or 4 games not. He's now went 4 or 5 games good, 1 game not. And his consistency level has been up, the same way as Goldson's went up, same way as Tavs went up, same way Davis's went up, Borna's the same. All these guys have all merged in the evolution, as we say, as we call it, and we love that word, has all perfectly came to this moment in time. And CJ, we don't even talk about Borna Barisic. We don't even talk about Yanis Hadji. We don't talk about Joe Aribo. We don't really talk about Kamara Ruth, but we should. But the point is that when we talk about our top 5, Alfredo's got a shout of being in there. Yanis has, Joe has.
Kamara was spectacular as well.
And Kamara, we've not even mentioned Glenn Kamara, Philippe Hollander. These guys have been so solid all the way throughout. And although we can have our player of the year, which There's no wrong. I don't think there's any wrong answer to it.
No.
People will. I a couple of weeks ago would have told you Alan McGregor, and I don't think that's wrong. People will tell you Stephen Davis. I don't think that's wrong. But when you look at it and analyse it properly, I just think Goldson throughout has been 8, 9,
Every game.
10, every single game. He's been incredible. And when you talk about, remember you talk about the high line being so high up, it's him that leads it.
Yep.
You know, it's him that pushes up. And I've been lucky enough to be a couple of pre-season friendlies against Coventry, etc., where I seen it in quiet and it's a different surrounding. And Connor is so vocal. He's leading from the back. And when you look at things like last week, which we don't want to see what happened to Glenn Kamara, but you see the reaction and how he reacts as a captain, which he even said himself wasn't maybe the best idea to be chasing the boy, but that is a leadership that we want from him.
Yeah.
And I think that has just grown throughout the team. These boys that maybe came have now become men, and they're now legends of the club. They have done, it will be exactly 10 years when we play Aberdeen from Kilmarnock at Rugby Park to that. And we've all taken that journey. 15th of May 2011 to 15th of May 2021.
Yeah.
Rangers 5, Kilmarnock 1. Let's hope for a similar scoreline against Aberdeen. You know, that would be lovely.
That's lovely.
But that journey that we've all been on, and we should all enjoy it because this is a moment that we've all waited for.
Absolutely, mate. And I look forward to that game. Speaking about the Aberdeen game, it's fantastic to me that our boys, Ryan Jack and Scotty Wright, will be getting a guard of honour and lifting the title in front of Aberdeen. That is glorious, and I love to see that. But is there anything else you actually want to talk about, Stevie? Because honestly, we could sit here all day and talk about Rangers. Anything you want to say? Because I fired the questions to you, but it's a conversation. Is there anything you want to talk about regarding the old Rangers?
Let's talk about our goal of the season then. If we've had our moments of the season, I think in terms of individual quality, everybody will say Kamar Roof. Yeah. Because that was an incredible moment.
Ridiculous.
But when you look at team goals and individual moments, you've got Jermaine Defoe against St Johnstone, where Tav plays that ball in, and he plays it first time, which was incredible. Then you've got Joe Aribo's moment of magic against Ross County, where he cuts in from the left. You've got team goals like Ryan Jack's goal against Ross County, where they kept it for 19 passes over a minute, and then he finishes it with his left foot. Then you've got Alfredo's goal at Easter Road, where it's all one touch and he pings it in. You've got Ryan Jack's volley, which is absolutely incredible, which probably would win goal of the year every single year if it wasn't for Kamar's goal. But that's kind of what I was talking about, the quality of this team and why we should enjoy it. There's been so many good moments, so many fantastic moments throughout. Even you look at the likes of Ryan Kent's first goal against Aberdeen in the 4-0 win, where he takes a wee deflection. But things like that have been incredible. You know, I just think that the quality of this team, and, you know, pick one that you've liked and one you enjoy. I know you'll probably, and I kind of agree with you. See that Jack volley, the way he sits it up and pings it. James Tavernier's free kick at Dundee United. Borna's free kick at Johnston. There's been so many great moments.
Oh man, if I'm gonna have to pick one, I think again, just for the spectacle element, I think Roof's gonna win that all damn day. But if it was to me, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Ryan Jack guy, but I love the fact even the one where he scored when it was he started it. Remember, he put the challenge inside his own box and went down. I thought that goal showed what Rangers are all about in a way. And even the Antwerp goal as well, where we done it with pass round them. Alfredo left that boy for dead, cut in for Kent to score. That's spectacular as well. But I think I'm going to go with the Jacko volley. I need to do it because I sent him a message after. I was like, "You got that in your locker, son? Can't I believe it? He's chipped up, absolutely rattled it in the bin." So I think I'm gonna lie down with my Ryan Jack hat on and say that one. What about yourself?
I find it difficult to disagree. I think Kamar Roof wins it. I think he's going to win that. Yeah.
Oh, aye. Well, so I'm just trying to offer a difference. Aye.
If you put that one to the side, I'm between two. I'm between Jack's moment and I'm between Tavernier's free kick at Dundee United, which I thought. And the funny thing about that, and we all said it at the time, the Dundee United defender walks away because it goes so high, and he's like, "Well, that's so." And it just the trajectory, the way it moves. And I think that was in a period where he was just incredible.
Oh, my God.
And he was like the catalyst for the early form. Mm-hmm. And then it's been overtaken by the likes of Ryan Kane and Alfredo. I think you're now in Alfredo's stage of the season. And we can. I'm really hopeful now that we're going to have a couple of weeks off. We'll come back against Cove Rangers. Hopefully, move the squad about a wee bit. We'll see some other boys get a chance. I think that'll happen. I think Scott Wright does deserve it. I think he does deserve a chance. I think you'll see maybe John McLaughlin get more games. You'll maybe see game time for Kamar Roof, which is going to be important. If he can have a strong end to the season and a good pre-season, hopefully we can get him, because he is your right side. He's the one that you obviously want in your right side. And there's an opportunity for other guys there to get game time as well, which obviously is going to be good. I don't think that the unbeaten run is important to me in terms of the league. I think Stephen Gerrard was right in terms of it being a sideshow, but because we're close, I think it would be nice. I've got targets to the Scottish Cup. I'm sure everybody has, but I'd also like to give them a wee bit of a doing when they come to Ibrox, because there's been a few things said, CJ, that they're close to us, and Saturday or Sunday proves that they're close to us. And I would point to the fact that Sunday was like playing FIFA when you don't use the speed button. For yourself, you're not allowed to use it. That's how I felt watching the Rangers on Sunday. We were clearly tired, clearly burst, but they still found a way. Good teams find ways. And we could have won that on Sunday as much as we could have lost it. The chances they had, the saves that McGregor made, were all fairly routine. They weren't slicing us apart. They weren't ripping us. They had most of the possession and things. I understand that. But nothing that they were doing, we weren't comfortable with. The moment in the first half where they got the penalty was, for me, a dive.
Yeah, definitely a dive.
So I'm just let them say whatever they want. But I would like to take them to Ibrox, 2 or 3-0 victory, and really stamp upon our authority onto this league title, and just say to them, it's 20 points for a reason. We welcome the chase.
Yeah, I just love the fact, mate, that they've just been slapped in that much this season. They've now go, we gave you a very good game of football. That's what they're really saying. So they had all these sort of, right, that's gone. Well, we gave you a really tough game. We got a draw at you. Well, fair play, mate. You did that with 2 weeks prep time. You did that. But again, just summarising the goal of the month. I think when you get to the end of the season, the Scottish football does literally the goal of the month. I think it's all just going to be Rangers players. I think it has to be. I think it has to be. The quality of our team, the team goals at individual moments have been incredible. So that's just part of the reason. I want everybody to enjoy this and realise what a good side we have. We aren't unbeatable. We aren't outstanding. There's been moments where we've shown that. We haven't been excellent in every game. I understand that. But if you look at where we've been, where we are now, the next level, Stephen Gerrard said this is just the beginning. So let's be excited about where we're going to go next. That word "yet" in terms of Europe is key for me. How exciting is that? Every time it gets me.
That's it. We've got a guy, Gerrard, who has every time raised the bar, every time raised the standards. Now, he ultimately wants to go to Liverpool and he wants to do bigger things in terms of where he wants to go his career. He's maybe thinking Liverpool, England, etc. Good on him. But in order to do that, he has to keep hitting bars for us. Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And I've seen the word bigger a lot, and I kind of the way you're using it there as well. You're talking about for him. You're not talking about in terms of stature. You're talking about
Rangers. Yeah,
absolutely. And I just want to clear that up as well, because I know I've seen that as well. Whenever he's mentioned that, it's about what's in his heart. He's obviously got dreams. That's like one of your boys. That's like Jacko in years and years to come. If he ever goes there, he's wanting to manage Rangers at one point. That's going to be the pinnacle for him. And I ken that's going to happen. But right now, we've heard from Stephen Gerrard. He's not gone anywhere new. He's with us. He's saying, he's building for the future. He's saying if the players are well, this is just the beginning. And that, for me, is what I'm taking in. Is what's going to keep warm over this international break, Stevie, is that prospect there. And I can't wait to see us go out there and play the cup. I can't wait to see some of the boys get more game time. And that's all I really want to talk about. And that's why I'm just sitting here being very, very positive. Everyone we've talked about, so many good players, so many good moments, so many good goals. So let's just enjoy it and be happy.
55 is here. We've waited a long time for it. It's been a pleasure talking about it, buddy.
Definitely, man. Can't wait to speak about it again. And I'll hopefully be more smiles when we do it in a couple of months' time. Maybe with our Scottish Cup in there as well.
That'd be nice. A wee double, a fantastic league campaign, a fantastic European campaign, and a summer of joy to look forward to.
I can't wait till we sit here at the end of the season and after talking about all these good players and Connor, I pick Ryan Jack as my player of the year, just to see your face, just to see. I can't wait to do it.
Got right, young player of the year.
That's correct. I love it. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you get involved down there in the comment section below and hitting the like button up, show that you want to see this happen again. And for the future, maybe we'll do a wee bit of live content and all that as well. We'll try and get you involved and all that as well. But we've loved every minute of this. Hopefully he's got involved down there. And from then, Stevie, all I've got to say is thank you so much for joining the channel again. Mate, want to tell them where they can find you on the internet?
Yeah, Four Lads Had a Dream is on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. You can find the blog just by Googling fourladshadadream.blog. I think it's good. People like it. It's been well read and it's well followed. So if you haven't checked it out, please do so. And thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you for having me on the show, and we'll definitely do this again.
Absolutely, mate. And as always, I've been Siege and Over 92. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. All the best, and goodbye.